heartbreaking. But having the key card, knowing that like, okay, no matter what, like I don't even have to worry about security doors. I don't have to go through and do a bunch of stuff to try to open that. I could just have free reign. If not, like even maybe turn the security doors higher so you can see more of them. It's just a nice feeling not having to think about it. And just like yeah, just opening doors for free seems pretty good.
Yeah, considering this is exactly one item, like think about this, right? This could have been one key, and one key is good. You need to open up locked stuff, especially the further north you get, the more likely rooms are to be locked. So this item is phenomenal because it's usually two, maybe three security doors just like baseline, and there are ways to combo to make it even more likely so that you can really start opening up a ton of doors throughout your day. There's even some lab experiments that enjoy opening up stuff from the security doors. It's a great item. I'm pretty high on the key card. What do you think?
Yeah, I could say S, but the fact that there are other ways to mitigate security doors, I think I go A for this.
I'm with you. And in fact, the other ways to mitigate security doors are probably better on average because it's more likely you can encounter that than like a key card. But if you have the key card, you're in great shape, and you're really happy to continue to see stuff. You might not need to draft a utility closet that day, which can save you another dead end spot. So yeah, a lot of great stuff with the key card. I think it's really great. I think A is perfect for it. Next up is lockpick, kind of similar. The lockpick has a chance to open up doors. I don't know what the chance is. I don't know if the percentage is more likely to fail or less likely to fail as you move north. It might just be independent. I have absolutely no clue, but there is a decent chance that you can just open up any locked door for free. What do you think about the lockpick?
The lockpick is very similar to the key card, which it just opens doors that you have no business opening. There's always a chance you run out of keys. You're like, oh, I'm dead, but maybe the lockpick. I think it's very similar to the key card. I think it's slightly better because you're just more likely to see regular doors and security doors. Some days you won't even see any security doors. You'll always see locked doors, almost always. In that sense, it can open any locked door, so it'll just save you keys for your later run when you're farther in. And yeah, maybe it's harder to pick locks farther down, but you saved enough keys that it doesn't even matter. You have enough keys, you have enough lock picks. It's very good. Saves you on average, I don't know, probably like 2 to 3 keys, which is acceptably a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot. And some rooms it's amazing, like go to the Great Hall and you can just kind of cheat in there. It's easy A for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Lockpick is great. Love that Great Hall synergy. Super fun. And just to be clear too, I think this is obvious, but I do want to make it very clear that if you fail a lockpick attempt, it's just done. You cannot open that door with a lockpick. The game does allow you to keep trying, but only on the first chance will you know if your lockpick has succeeded or not. So don't go spamming it. Just have one use and you're done. And again, just like keycard, I think it's an A tier, and I'm with you, Shakalaz. I think it's better because you are always encountering locked doors. You might not see that many security doors, but you're always encountering locked doors. 4 or 5 keys might just be good enough for your day, depending on your luck with the lockpick. And if not, well, as you said, you're saving 2 to 3 keys, which is very good for one item slot. So yeah, we love the lockpick. Next up is the Lucky Rabbit's Foot. This increases your odds of finding other items. I don't know what the percentage is, but honestly, the percentage probably doesn't even matter because getting items is how you win the game. What do you think about the Lucky Rabbit's Foot?
Lucky Rabbit's Foot, it's not a flashy item. It doesn't do anything. You're not like opening stuff, but it's probably one of, if not the best items to get because it will just let you get more items. Which you've ever had one of those days where your inventory is just full and you can do whatever you want. You're just getting so much value off other things like coupon book, coin burst combo, salt. It's really good. I'm pretty sure it's not just these items that will give you more chance of fighting. You can find more gems, more keys, more gold. It just does it all. Not flashy, like we said. It's not doing anything. It's just kind of sitting in your inventory, boosting numbers. But it's probably one of the best, if not the best, items to get. So easily yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a very easy S tier. This is absolutely an item you want to throw in your code check because if you can start a day off with a Lucky Rabbit's Foot, you are in a very strong position. Another interesting thing too about blueprints, all of these items on the list, I can think of at least one exception off the top of my head, there may be others, but the vast majority of items you can only pick up one at a time, right? You can't find a second magnifying glass if you pick up one of them. So another underrated thing about the Lucky Rabbit's Foot is by finding more items in general, that kind of opens up your item slots to be better too, right? If you get the weaker items out of the way, that means you're probably just going to keep finding even better items than that. It's this huge snowball effect that is just phenomenal. Again, it's not the flashiest, but it is so powerful. Easily code check it if you have nothing better to throw away. It's a great item. Okay, next up is the magnifying glass, and this is super self-explanatory. Once you have this item, every time you start to read a document, you can browse it with your magnifying glass.
Ooh, okay. Magnifying glass. Is it really doing anything for you? Is it giving you any items? Is it giving you any keys, gems? Not really, but this is kind of like the whole game, I would say. Like, the whole game is all about finding clues and figuring stuff out, and this really helps with that. So I think you gotta put it in A. It's not giving you anything intrinsically like a shovel or a metal detector would, but the knowledge that it's imbuing is, you just can't really put a price on it because you're just gaining so much.
I want to say too, even as like a quote unquote more experienced player like myself, there are still times I want the magnifying glass in my inventory, right? It's true that once you have a certain amount of info, you might not need this item as much anymore, but it is so crucial for new players to get those clues and hints that I'm so with you. A is the spot. And again, this game is full of secrets and documents. You never know, right? You might still encounter things midway through the game or even way later in the game that could require the magnifying glass. I'll say this too. I don't want to go totally on the record because I don't know everything there is to know about this game, but for the most part, it's pretty clear when you need to use the magnifying glass. I don't think you need to be browsing every single photo or every single letter of all time once you have this. I think it's pretty clear. Maybe there might be some secret stuff that you could use the magnifying glass for that isn't visually obvious, but that's something to throw out there. And next up is the metal detector. Once you have this item, you are more likely to find keys, you are more likely to find coins on the ground, and it even tells you when there are keys or coins on the ground because it starts beeping and detecting. What do you think about the metal detector?
The metal detector, now this is an item, right? Now we're talking about items that give you coins, give you keys. It gives you the chance when you open a new room to spawn basically items or keys and coins that would not be there normally, which that's just amazing in and of itself. And it saves you the headache from having to check. You know, like I walk into a room, is there coins in here? I spread coins throughout the estate. Let me go back and check. I don't have to check every nook and cranny. I walk in there, does my detector beep? Yes or no? Just things like that. I love this item. I think easy yes for sure.
Yeah, that's really fun. I'm kind of laughing at myself hearing you say that because I'm notorious for just like missing items that are in plain sight. So not only does the metal detector increase my odds of finding keys, which you need, right? Keys are one of the most important resources. And coins are nice too, right? A single coin here and there might not be a lot, but over the course of your day, that's pretty fantastic. So not only does it increase the odds of those wonderful resources being found, but it also means that just regular items that are metal, I can locate a little bit more easily as well in the room, which is really great for the clinically blind like myself. I'm with you. This is an easy S tier, phenomenal item. Always happy to see the metal detector. All right, next up is the shovel. Pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you will find dirt patches, usually in green rooms. There are some other rooms as well, and it's very obvious visually because you'll see a little dirt patch. You can dig it up once you have a shovel. What do you think about the shovel, Shagraz?
Shovel, what's to say about the shovel? It's just great. An amazing item. Lets you dig up all these dirt patches, usually a bunch of good stuff down there, kind of keys, coins, other stuff sometimes, some food. Yeah, and there's deceptively a lot of dirt. You would think, oh, maybe only the green rooms, but there are enough dirt patches that the shovel is kind of one of the better items. I think easily S, if not the best of these on the list. I don't know.
There are definitely chances where you get nothing when you dig up dirt, and that doesn't feel great, but that's few and far between because the items you do find are very good. Just as Shagraz said, you can find keys and gems and coins and all sorts of goodies. You can even find turnips to give yourself more steps. Shovel's really great, and this is absolutely one you would want to throw in your coat check because knowing that you have a shovel to access can mean that you can start a day off knowing, let's see lots of green rooms, right? Like it can kind of dictate the way that you want to be building your house for the day, which I think is really cool. Now, caveat, if you do throw it in your coat check, you cannot find the shovel again naturally. It won't be for sale at the commissary. You can't just naturally pick it up because there just isn't possible. It's not possible to get 2 shovels at any time. So do keep that in mind. If you do throw it in the coat check, you want to find the coat check ASAP because that is the only way you'll be able to retrieve that shovel yet again. But still a very cool thing, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, like Demi was saying, the shovel is really nice that it kind of gives you a destiny. You're like, okay, now I know what I'm doing today. I am drafting green rooms. I'm drafting rooms with dirt. I'm going that route. And it's nice to kind of have a route. And the green build, as I like to call it, is a really, really powerful build, especially if you have the shovel. Yeah, so you'll find that having the shovel, which forces you to build more green rooms, will just make your day better because the green rooms really synergize with each other, and the shovel giving you more stuff on top of that, which will it just helps you out your day.
Yeah, it's awesome to have a Destiny. Were you thinking top of S? I don't know if it matters too much. These are all great items. I don't think, it probably doesn't matter too much, the placement. They're all phenomenal. Because all of them are ones that you love to see early. Even if you don't see them early, they're still relevant, and they're just fantastic. S for shovel, but maybe not S for salt shaker right over here. Salt shaker is a real interesting item in that every time you eat food, you get, I believe, exactly one extra step. What do you think about the salt shaker?
Well, as I was compiling this tier list, I straight up forgot about the salt shaker. So that tells you anything. It's not that great. It doesn't do too much by itself. It's kind of like the coin purse where you need something else to help you. Like the coin purse, you need to find gold after you see it. The salt shaker, you need to find food after you get it. So in that scenario, it's not the best. It works well in like the kitchen where you can buy a bunch of bananas for cheap and you get a little extra. So it's good on that. And it's not like a bad item. It will get you a lot of like sneaky steps, especially if you get lucky and find a lot of fruit. But for the most part, it's kind of not the best, especially like another item on this list that helps you get steps. If you compare it to that, I don't know. I think D probably.
I'm ready to rail against this item. I think one step is like probably the worst resource I could think of. Like I would take one coin easily over one step, like any day of the week. It would be really nice if it gave you maybe like 2 steps, I don't think that's that greedy, but say what you will, I'm salty. I definitely do not. I do not love the salt shaker. I think this item probably exists just so that bad items exist. I don't think there's any real use for it, but that's just me. I don't know. Not the biggest fan of the salt shaker. All right, next up is the silver key. This is just like a regular key in that it can open up any door that's locked. However, if you use the silver key to open up the door, you are guaranteed to have rooms that lead to many pathways. So what do you think about the silver key, Shugraz?
Silver key, it's basically the Southern Cross of keys. Gives you more rooms with multiple rooms. So T rooms or 4 ways. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know how to say this. I would say it's a B tier. It's really helpful in the spaces when you need it, but it's not doing anything too amazing, and it's like a one-time use. So
yeah, I think this is the poster child for a B tier, right? It is good, right? That is a good item. I'm happy to see a silver key. It's not making or breaking my day necessarily, but it can be extremely good in a pinch, especially when you're going north and you really, really need to start spreading out. You can see a world where a silver key is fantastic. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're opening up one locked door. So yeah, I think it's a great, great example of a B tier item. Next up is the sledgehammer. There are trunks that can randomly spawn in certain rooms in Mount Holly. Normally those require a key to open up, and the contents are pretty good. But if you have the sledgehammer, you just get to open those up with impunity. What do you think about the sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer is a pretty good item. It saves you a lot of keys. It will give you a lot of items because these trunks are really good, but you always see a trunk and you're like, ooh, do I have enough keys? Like sometimes there's keys in there, so it's worth it, but I'm just like 1 key or 2 keys left. Like, do I really want to go down? Do I really want to use my last key? Because if there's no keys in here, I'm just kind of dead for the day. Just being able to just open any trunk whenever you want is really, really good. Not as good as the other items because, like I said, it does require another item to spawn for you, which this item is the trunk. I think it's really good, though. The payoff is really strong. Sledgehammer, I think it's a really solid B.
Yeah, I'm with you. Very solid B. Like Shugraz said, it is possible when you open up a chest with a coin that you'll profit coins or even break even with some extra items. So chests are really fun. Don't just always turn them away. Sometimes it's fun to take a shot, especially if you have keys to burn, you should absolutely go for it. Sledgehammer is cool for just busting those open for free. I will say what maybe puts it in B tier as opposed to A is that chests aren't really that common. I would say you probably see maybe 2 on a given day, perhaps 3 if you're actively spawning rooms that have a higher chance of them. They're not super frequent, but you're really happy to have a sledgehammer to save yourself a key because those rewards are very good. Every 1 sledgehammer opening up a treasure chest is going to give you a lot of resources that will very much help your day, and you saved a key. Next up is the sleeping mask. This is kind of like the nursery room. The nursery is every time you draft a bedroom, you get 5 steps. The sleeping mask is the first time you enter a purple bedroom, you will gain 5 steps.
Well, if you watched the last tier list, you know I was really high on the nursery. I wanted to S rank it. I got bullied into not being able to do that, but the sleeping mask is just a better nursery because not only does it do the same thing, but it is retroactive. So you can pick up the sleeping mask halfway through the day, go back to your other rooms, your other bedrooms, and still get your 5 steps. So in that sense, it's better. It's obviously a lot harder to get a sleeping mask than it is just to open up a nursery. And as much as people might think I want to S rank it, I do love steps, but like I do say all the time, steps are not everything. So compared to other items like a metal detector or a shovel or even a lucky rabbit's foot, which are just generating like keys, gems, other items, it's not that powerful. It is really good though. I think Sleeping Mask A for sure.
I think A is probably a good slot for it because it is actively good. If I see it at the commissary, I'm probably favoring a metal detector or a shovel almost every time, but maybe there are days where you need the steps and that'd be a cool item to acquire actively. Another cool thing with the Sleeping Mask is I feel like it has very good odds to spawn in bedrooms. I don't know the exact ratio off the top of my head, but I feel like this is an item that you really do see decently often. I know all of these items are quote unquote common, but I feel like this is one that continuously shows up and just finds ways to make a good day even better, or even like help you get some steps when you are running low. So yeah, it's always relevant. The fact that it's retroactive, I think, is even better too. Okay, this is the wind-up key. You probably never really keep this in your inventory because you pick it up in the parlor room and that's what you use to open up the chest. What do you think about the wind-up key, Shugraz?
Wind-up key, it's a free item in the parlor room. It's always there. You'll always see one. Use it for 2 gems most time. It's a nice key, 2 gems, a B tier.
Yeah, it's pretty much just 2 gems, right? Which is funny. I guess you could code check it if you wanted to. I don't even know if you can spawn a second wind-up key if you do. You probably can, which if you're really like horrible at these logic puzzles and you really want to do that, that's maybe a funny thing to think about, but not a serious thing to think about, of course. You can pretty much at least 50-50 a chest. Even if you're not great at the logic puzzles, you can pretty much get a 50-50 there. So yeah, wind-up key. Very funny item. And funny enough, one final item that we did forget about, that's near the end anyway, it starts with an R, that is the running shoes. When you have this item, there is a small chance as you walk around that you'll get a rebate, that you'll get 1 step back. Also, if you ever leave the house for any reason at all, it basically refunds you perfectly as far as I know. What do you think about the running shoes, Showbros?
I love the running shoes. They're an item that helps you not have to worry about steps as much. And they, not only that, they encourage you to walk back and go through your house and go look at other stuff, and you don't feel as bad for backtracking, which I'm a big fan of. I love backtracking. I think more people should do it. So this kind of encourages you to backtrack, which I think is really, really strong and powerful. And then the more you do it, the more you realize, wow, that actually helped my day a lot. I went back to the entrance hall, even though I was like halfway up the house, and I found a closet in the storeroom, and I got enough stuff to keep going. So yeah, I really love running shoes. Probably A. This is probably a little high, but A for sure.
Yeah, I see it as pretty similar to the sleeping mask. The difference is the more steps you have, the better the running shoes get, right? Like the more steps you have, the more quote unquote burn, the more likely you'll get more triggers off of it. So it's a very, very, very good item. Even at 50 steps, it's still very solid. Again, it's nice that you can basically move for free outside. You probably get a similar amount of steps compared to the sleeping mask, and you don't have to be crafting bedrooms to get the payoff. So it's very good. Probably, I mean, it's less than sleeping mask, but still, it's very nice that you don't have to think about it consciously. Also, the running shoes are pretty likely to show up in the gym, which is kind of nice. That's a red shoe and maybe give you a little bit of an upside. So yeah, I like the running shoe today, personally. Okay, any final thoughts, Shagraz, as far as placements with any of these items?
No, I'm pretty happy with all these. Like you said, Pro Clever, the battery pack. You're more than happy to see them most days, but this non-spoilery tier list, yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think overall it's a pretty good list. And so yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in a tier list of better items, of more rare stuff, or more rare rooms, or things of that nature, do leave a comment and let us know. Right now, especially with the game still being pretty new, I do not really want to be permeating spoilers for people. I would like as much as possible for my guides to be just for newer folks trying to figure things out, but maybe in the future we'll consider doing that if there's some interest. So let us know. Also let us know if you think there are any items on the list that are way better than we're thinking, or even way worse than we're thinking, being cognizant of spoilers as much as you can. Thanks to our friend Shagraz for being here, head playtester for Blueprints. As always, it's been incredible, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Happy drafting, scouts.
This week only, all Domino's menu price pizzas are 50% off when you order online. That's right, all of them. Pizza, extravaganza, ultimate pepperoni, every delicious topping, every mouth-watering flavor on any crust, all half price. This is a limited time offer. Order now.
Your life is your choice. Choose your next move at WGU. As time passes, we expect things to get bigger, better, or at least develop in some way. But there are some things that are going in the wrong direction. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 game features that are evolving backwards. Starting off at number 10, it's Apocalypse. Now, lists like this can easily skip in old man yells and cloud territory. Just a bunch of out of touch complaining about games these days. So let me just start off by saying that in general, gaming is better. You could even say it's better than it's ever been from a technology standpoint, from a variety standpoint, from a possibility standpoint. There's just more a developer can do. There's also so much stuff out there, it's nearly impossible to play all of it. There's so much that for pretty much all of the complaints in here, you'll be able to come up with a counterexample from a modern game that didn't evolve backwards. So I want to nip that right in the bud. I am completely aware that there's stuff that does things right. That said, video game unlockables seem like they kind of been on a downward decline. What used to be a bunch of bonus material, extra weapons, new costumes, stuff that rewards players for completion, and adds replayability to games, it's been replaced with microtransactions and in-game stores. All that stuff that used to be free has been ripped out and sold back to us. Ubisoft, particularly bad about this. Take any recent Assassin's Creed game and you'll find a cash shop filled with stuff that older entries would have just had you unlock it by, playing the game that you bought. There are counterexamples. Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man gives you a ton of costumes that won't be earned in the game. There are a few pre-order bonuses of per encounter, but at the same time, they give you a lot for free. Well, maybe not free. Time is money, and you can get it with your time. But still, fighting games, however, have really gotten hit hard with them. Take some of the older Dead or Alive games where you can unlock 7 or 8 costumes for each of the characters that's all free. And then look at the most recent game, Dead or Alive 6. You don't even get a fraction of that for free. There's hundreds of other costumes, and you have to pay for them. And that's not even getting into multiplayer games with Battle Passes taking over as a microtransaction. There's still the classic unlock track where you get rewards for leveling up, but now you get the privilege of paying to level up. Like it's a better system than loot boxes. Not gonna say it's not. It is. And a lot of these cosmetics probably wouldn't even exist if not for the Battle Pass. But it's also hard not to look at the state of these games and wonder if you really would be so bad if you could just buy a multiplayer game and play it, without the whole getting nickel and dimed in every single corner approach. Like, it really does feel like that's a de-evolution. So crack that whip. We're going to continue on with number 9, multiplayer modes in single-player games. Do you remember when for a while every single-player game had attack on multiplayer? There were a lot of bad ones, but there were a few that were actually pretty fun. Also, they would not exist in today's gaming landscape. And I'm talking about stuff like Assassin's Creed multiplayer or Last of Us Factions, stuff like that. Old Last of Us remakes, cut factions, even though it was an extremely popular mode for a while. Multiplayer games are just in general struggling at the moment. It seems like for a game to last, it either needs to be small enough to survive on relatively low player counts, or be the biggest thing ever. So many multiplayer games have been canceled or had a beta that you quietly dropped. Not because the game was bad, but because it wouldn't be profitable enough. It's not confirmed, but that's probably what happened to factions. Multiplayer games can't just be fun additions that add some value to the game. They have to be cash cows that will generate infinite wealth forever. Obviously, that's not true of every game. There's still some games that have a pretty large amount of fun added by multiplayer. But there are so many games where single player is the focus, and multiplayer is planned to split off, but it's just abandoned. And I know that, in all honesty, I complain a lot about there not being enough single player games. But I'll also say this used to be something that you just thought about with single player games. How do they make this into a multiplayer game? Because so many single player games had a multiplayer component, even if you didn't necessarily think it was the best thing ever. And I know it's also odd to say something like this in a world where games like Fortnite, a free game, brings in billions of dollars a year, and Call of Duty always tops the charts with multiplayer games, whether they're standalone or not. Like the big fish are doing just fine, but everybody else is struggling to keep up. I wish more multiplayer games came out that were just creative and clever, and were less about trying to find new and exciting ways to extract money out of the player base. And maybe that's the real problem here.
Right now, spring deals are under $20 at the Home Depot. So no matter what you're working on, you can save big on all your spring projects. Now through May 7th, shop spring deals on $20 at the Home Depot. Gator looking for hydration and specialized blend of bioelectrolytes.
And number 8 is in-game level editors and mod support. As gaming on the PC grew, one thing developers did to build community was to include mod support to give players access to level editors. Of course, some of the biggest games right now do have this. I mean, that's basically what Roblox is. And Fortnite's creative mode keeps getting bigger. Hell, Halo Infinite's Forge mode got a big update recently that puts AI into the match. So it's not like level editors are dead, they're just not what they once were. Games like Duke Nukem 3D, Crisis, Far Cry 2 and 5, and the list, it goes on. These games had some really amazing tools that let the community run wild with their creations. Some games remain relevant just because of level editors. Like, the Doom community is still going strong 30 years later, 3 decades in, because of fan-created content. At a certain point, though, many developers just started to give up on including editors in their games. For a lot of reasons, too. Some devs wanted to curb random cheating, others, maybe not necessarily entirely on the dev side, maybe on the publishing side, realized there isn't a lot of value in editing tools. Kind of gives the player infinite content that they don't have to buy. So they kind of gave up on them. These days, the only games that have level editors are kind of specifically made for level editors. They're games that are still heavily modded, but it just requires some extremely dedicated fans to reverse engineering code to do it. Games like Roblox and Fortnite are closed systems as well. It's not like the golden era of PC game modding in the late 90s, where games like Half-Life had entire communities extensively modded the game to essentially create new games. So many amateurs were able to take the creation and build a career out of it from there. With games like Roblox, you make something in the game and it's the property of the developer. You can make some money off of it, but it is a really exploitative business model.
Hello?